Hello everyone, get ready to learn about compound interest. Feel the Christmas spirit as you read into our presentation that is Christmas themed. Now, what is compound interest and how is it different from simple interest? Well, compound interest is the interest calculated not only on the initial principal, but also on the accumulated interest from previous periods. In other terms, or in simpler terms, it is interest on interest. Simple interest, on the other hand, is calculated only on the original principal amount.
How do we calculate the total number of conversions? M, or frequency conversion, is the number of times that the interest is computed in the span of 1 year. T is the time or number of years of the term compounded interest. N, or the total number of conversion periods for the entire term, is the product of T and M. N is equal to T times M.
To find the total number of conversions for the entire term at different conversion periods, keep this key point in mind for annual compounding. It's once a year if it's semi-annual. It happens every 6 months or twice a year. Quarterly means every 3 months or 4 times annually, and for monthly compounding, it's every month or 12 times a year.
In computing interest rates per period, you need to determine the nominal rate, or what we call J, or the rate charged that may be converted several times per year. For example, you are investing 36,000 for 5 years in a bank that pays 3% compounded semi-annually. The nominal rate, or J, is 3%, or 0.03. To determine the interest rate per period, or what we call I, divided to the nominal rate J by the frequency conversion per year M.
To find the interest rate per period, or I, for various conversation periods, we need to divide the nominal rate J by the frequency of conversation per year M. 10% or 0.1 over 1 is equal to 0.1. 12% or 0.12 over 2 is 0.06. 14% or 0.14 over 4 is equal to 0.035. 16% or 0.16 over 12 is equal to 0.0133.
Compound amount of F is the accumulated value of the principal P at the end of the term. The formula for compound amount is F equals P times the quantity of the 1 plus I raised to N, where F is the compound amount or accumulated value of the principal P at the end of the term. P is the present value or original principal. I is the interest rate per period, and N is the total number of conversion periods.
Let us try an example. If Miss De Leon invested 12,900 pesos for 4 years in a bank that pays 3% compounded semi-annually, how much will she receive after 4 years? Let us first solve for I and N. I is J over M, or 0.03 over 2. The answer is 0.015. Let us look now for N. T is 4 and M is 2. If we multiply this, we get 8. Now that we got our I and N, we can now plug in these values to our F formula. F equals 12,900 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.015 raised to 8. The answer is 14,531.75. Therefore, Miss De Leon will receive 14,531 pesos and 75 cents after 4 years.
Let us now proceed to the next topic, which is computing compound interest. Compound interest is the total interest earned for the entire term. Let us refer to the values from the previous example. How much interest will Mrs. De Leon's investment earn? In finding the compound interest, we need to subtract the F and P. So, the value of F is 14,531 pesos and 75 centavos minus to P, which is 12,900 pesos. So if we subtract these two values, the result will be 1,631 pesos and 75 centavos. In conclusion, Mrs. De Leon's investment will earn total interest of 1,631 pesos and 75 centavos after 4 years.
We have another example here. Find the compound interest earned at the end of 20 months. If 150,000 is invested in a fund that pays 20% compounded monthly. To find F, or the compound amount, we will use the formula F equals P times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to n. Let us plug in the value for P, which is 150,000. Let us now look for I. J over M is 20% or 0.2 over 12. We wrote 12 because it is the compound monthly. So our I is 0.01666. To find n, we will use t and 20 months over 12 months times 12. The answer is 20, so now we will substitute the new values 150,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.01666 raised to 20. Our F is 208,740.15 pesos. Now that we have our F, we can now find our compound interest. F minus P is 208,740.15 minus 150,000 is 58,740. So this is our compound interest. Therefore, the compounded interest earned for 150,000 pesos invested in a fund that pays 20% compounded monthly at the end of 20 months is 58,740.15 pesos.
Let us try another problem. Accumulate 30,000 for 3 years and 6 months at 16% compounded semi-annually. Let us look for I first. Our J is 16% or 0.16. Our M is 2. If we divide it, we get 0.08. To find N, we will multiply T and M. Our T is 3 years and 6 months or 3.5. Our M is 2. Their product would be 7. We can now plug in the missing values to our F formula. 30,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.08 raised to 7. The answer is 51,414.73. Therefore, the compound amount at the end of 3 years of 30,000 pesos invested at 16% is 51,414 pesos and 73 centavos.
Let us now move forward to the next topic, which is about present value and compound interest. Present value refers to the value of a certain sum of money at the present time. We have two formulas that we can use to find P. First is P is equal to F over the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N. The other one is P equals F times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N. Where P is the present value, F is the future value or compound amount, I is the interest per period, and N is the total number of conversion periods.
Let's try an example. What is the present value of 35,000 pesos due in 7 years and 6 months if the rate is 12% compounded quarterly? We will use the formula P is equal to F over the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N. Let us look for N first. RT is 7 years and 6 months, or 7.5. RM is 4 because it is compounded quarterly. 7.5 times 4 is 30. Let us now look for RI. RJ is 0.12, RM is 4. 0.12 over 4 is 0.03. We can now plug in the values into our P formula. 35,000 over the quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to 30. The answer is 14,441.54. Another way to solve this problem is by using the second formula, which is P equals F times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N. So let's plug in the values. 35,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to negative 30. We also get the same answer, which is 14,441.54. Therefore, the present value of 35,000 pesos that is due at the end of 7.5 years is 14,419.54 pesos. Therefore, the present value of 35,000 pesos that is due at the end of 7.5 years is 14,419.54 pesos.
We have another example here. A certain principal P was invested at 6%, compounded semi-annually. If this principal amounted to 94,500,000 at the end of 3 years, how much was the principal? Find the compound interest earned. Let us first look for I. J is 0.06, M is 2. If we divide them, we get 0.03. Let us now look for N. T is 3 and M is 2. We multiply them, we get 6. Let us now look for P using the formula. P equals F times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N. 94,500 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to negative 6. We get 79,142.26 as our P. Now that we got our P, we can now look for our compound interest. F minus P is 94,500 minus 79,142.26. The answer is 15,347.74. Therefore, the present value of 94,500,000.00 that is due at the end of 3 years is 79,142.26 thousand. The compounded interest that the investment earned is 15,357.74 thousand. That is the end of our lesson. We hope you learned a lot. Happy holidays!